And we're back with another episode of Let's Play PC Building Simulator. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. Woohoo! Let's get back to it. Alright, so looks like we've got some rigs to work on. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Hi, Stuart again. How's business? How's the business going? I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I've actually been feeling pretty inspired by what you're doing. Did you know we make video games here at the Irregular Corporation? I've decided I'm going to pitch a PC building simulator game at our next company meeting based on you and your workshop. I'm going to try and whip up a quick prototype, but I need an upgrade to get the development tools running on my machine. Could you take a look? The benchmark of about 8,000 should be enough to work with, plus loads of system memory and storage. Thanks, Stuart. Head of production at the Irregular Corporation. P.S. Do you want to be put in the game, or is this taking things too far? Heyo, that's a bit of a beast. Not that we can't do it, but it's a bit of a beast. Now, some things to consider that he's already helping us with is that he's already helping us because he's got the right motherboard, processor, and processor. Everything else he has is terrible. Well, maybe not necessarily. So he's already at 10,986. So this is obviously a rig we must have built for him. We built this rig for him before. So he easily meets this standard already, but we have this monstrous budget for us to work with. So, what does this mean? And that is a real question. What does it mean? Well, he needs a lot more storage, so we're gonna have to deal with that. And there's just no way around that. So he's got a mechanical hard drive in there already. This is not going to help us, because the space that he has for hard drives, unfortunately, is finite. So what we're probably going to do is spend a lot of this budget on hard drives and probably a power supply. I don't see a reason to. If we have money left over, we can upgrade stuff further. But let's do the memory. Like I said, we'll do the memory, and we'll do the hard drives and stuff first. So with the possibility that we're going to be dumping this 5 gig, 500. Excuse me, 500 gigabyte. So let's take a look at what we got. As far as mechanicals go, I think the biggest we got is 3. So a 3 terabyte hard drive is the biggest we can realistically go. So maybe what we should do is we need another 500 gig, and there's a 1 terabyte down there. So what I'm thinking we need to do actually is not as massive as I thought. There's an easier option. There's 512 gigs right there at the 240 range. So let's do this. Let's do the 3 terabyte mechanical. Simple enough. And we'll do this guy, the M2 1TB. So it's overkill, but it'll get the job done. Alright, that's good. Memory. We have to have the memory. His motherboard will accept, where are you? 3800 memory. Theoretically, we could do better maybe with the motherboard, but then we'd have to change out the processor. So let's assume that that's not something that we can do right now. Well, we have 1970, so I'm reluctant to say that we could do it. Let me think here. Oh, power supply. We need a better power supply. We're going to get him the biggest power supply we can afford. That is the smallest size that they make. Physically. So 160 millimeters, 180, 160. I think there's a smaller... No, I don't think... Okay, there isn't. So we're going to go with this guy here. So we're going to minus 150. It gives us 1820. Let's look at processors. 1151 Coffee Lake. It's $400. Still gives us a small fortune to spend, but well, the other question is, what if we went Ryzen? And that's what I want to find out. What is the best processor? The Ryzens. So what if we went with the 2700? Well, maybe not the X, because I don't like the wattage on it. I do like this. This looks really nice. 3850, huh? Because we still got to get a new motherboard no matter which one we go with, so... Which is better than what he's got. So let's do this. Minus 380. Now we need an AM4. We want to get a really good one. With SLI and Crossfire. So... See, these are good, but we want a higher processor performance. So the negative of going AMD is actually we don't get the memory we want. So hold on really quick. Let's go back. And go back to processors. Now let's take another look here. So the i7 8700K is like 240 points less than this. But we'll get better RAM speed, give or take. So let's try the 47. I know it's the big beast. Actually, no, we'll go here. So minus 360. And this is a Coffee Lake. So let's now go to motherboards. Coffee Lake. See, now we get into the higher RAM speeds for a relatively lower cost. And I don't see any one of these that really performs that greatly over the cheaper stuff that for what we want it for. So yeah, so this saves us some money. Because we can go right here to the 155. 4,000 megahertz 155. So boom. Which gives us 1,300 to go. Now let's look at memory. The last thing we got to look at. And he wants 128 gigs of memory, which is all 16 gig. Now, if this is more than we can afford, then we'll have to change again. But we have to go with 16 gig. I don't know. If we make it, we're going to just make it. But let's see. Minus... Looks like we'll make it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Power supplies in there. He's got case fans up the ass. We have $225 to burn. So that's a thing. The other thing we could do, for $225, is we could buy better cooling. And this would leave us with $25 left. But will this case support it? Probably not one that big. But you know what? Screw it. I think we can make it work. We just have to gut the whole inside of the rig here. No, you know what? Let's go smaller because I do think it. I do have a feeling it's not going to fly. We could go with this EVGA 2-piece one, I think. Boom. And that gives us $85 to spend. So, there are things we could buy for $85. Like more memory, more storage. But I would worry that something may not, fit somewhere. So I don't think we can change cases. So I think we'll just leave it at that. I think we're good there. So that's the first rig. Further repairs needed for my son. Hi again. Many thanks for repairing my son's computer. I made sure to tell him to keep his bedroom door closed to avoid another disaster, but still, my adventurous 3-year-old found her way in. By the time we found her, she had jammed a dozen felt-tip pens into the computer through the fans in the rear. We have not dared turn it on since. I am only thankful that it was not the 100 pack of wax crayons she got for her birthday. I hope the necessary repairs can be completed quickly, as my son's teacher tells me he's behind on his homework, no doubt due to these incidents. Thanks again for your understanding, Javed Chowdhury. Replace graphics card. RX 480X. So, let's see here. RX 480. Did I not type in 480? So 355. There could be multiple broken parts. So actually, it just says replace graphics card. And they have an RX 480 X 8 gig. RX 480 oh wait, is it gaming? Gaming X, yeah. Gaming X 8 gig. So it's really 355. You know, just fucking buy it. I'm not gonna dick around with anything else. Is there anything else we can put in this thing for? I mean, for $45, is there anything better? We could put in a better thermal intake, or I'm sorry, thermal power supply, heat sink, but we don't necessarily need to. $45 does not buy us a hard drive, but there's 2 fans in this thing. We have a spare fan on us, right? So if we have a spare fan on us, that's brand new. Yeah, 120. So we could say that we could put some more fans in this thing. So we could say minus 10. And that gives us more room for 3 more. So I would say 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Alright, we accept. Fix this. I hear you work with a computer. Can you make some repairs? I slipped and fell on the PC, made a nasty noise. I've never cleaned it out. Is that okay? Worry about used parts. Replace motherboard and replace graphics card. Radeon RX 570. That's simple enough. So the Gigabyte Auroras here. So we'll do that. Boink. And replace motherboard. B250M. We accept. 3265. Make my PC better. My PC. Let me see. My PC just isn't fast enough right now. My previous PC was benchmarking 3510, so I want at least that. I need 16 gigs of RAM of memory installed. Let's cool the CPU with an AIO cooler. I've never cleaned it out. Is that okay? Can you make this your number 1 priority? Well, yeah, we can do that. I actually think we have some RAM for this. Don't we? Who makes... We actually might. Memory... Oh, 3200. He's got a different number in there, doesn't he? 36. Darn. Memory. Yeah, it's all 3200. So okay, so obviously we accept because this shouldn't be that hard. Our budget is 630. So let's put the obvious things that we need to put in there. He has a 290 great, so the pretty much all we need to upgrade, I would say, to get him that number is just beef up the video card. I mean, another motherboard would be pretty good too, or a better one, but I don't think we're gonna need to go that far. So let's go ahead and do the AIO cooler and the memory. 3600 memory. And 8 gig 3600. Boom. So that's minus 120. And then the cooling, we'll go with the cheapest liquid cooler for 60. And we even have this now too, which looks better in most machines, but we already put the intake in there. I'm not gonna change it now. So now we have 450. So if we go to graphics cards, where is that DFL? Is it it's the 290 great. That's a 280 great. Where's the 290? It's pretty high up there, actually. There it is. So we're obviously going to go higher than this, because that's really, I think, all that's missing. And we have 450 to burn, so we can go pretty high up on the performance for video card here. 350. Okay, went too high there. Big wattage, so not really worth it. This is where we probably want to be. This one's straight up better performance. So, boom. Leaves us with 45 bucks left. So I think we have everything in and ready to go. Sorry that took a little longer than normal. That first order is pretty massive. All right, so we're ready to go. We're going to have that delivered upon the motto. Boom, boom. The other issue, too, is I'm moving a little slower today. Body aches. Alright. So these two things are used, and then everything else is pretty straightforward. Alright. Let's get to it. Good. Boot her up. Now, we'll open this. Memory. I just want to see how this is. Okay, so this is laid out the way it needs to be. So... what? Get... You bastard. Boom. Nice. Open Sesame. And... Alright, clean this guy out. Clean. Good, very, very good. And then off you go. CPU. Whoop, doop. On. Well, that's interesting. Just the design of it's kind of interesting. Alright. And then graphics card. We'll boot her up. Make sure the RAM is properly set. check for prawn. And we'll put in the GPU tuner just in case. Alright, let's go on. Ooh, another dusty morsel. Replace motherboard, replace graphics card. Well, first thing is we'll get everything out of here. Do 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 do. And it's out. Pawn free and proud. Since he's got a good power supply in there, we'll go ahead and crank this up. And that'll guarantee us the numbers we need, and we should be good at on everything else. Yup. Alright. Clean her out. And get that in. Put that on the Kraken. Oh, son of a bitch. How'd they get it on before? That's gonna bug me, because like how they get it on before. Maybe you have to. Maybe it's because you have to do that first. But again, I always find that kind of weird. See, now it's not in the way. Hee. All right. Let's go ahead and install the usual suspects, but we don't need to beef up the performance at all or anything like that. 3986. Get it out of my shop. For it to be done. It be done. It be done. Boot her up. And let's run a scan. Replace the graphics card. Simple enough. I don't think there was anything else that we were going to put in here. Where's the budget? 45 bucks? Was it? Oh, you know what? It was fans. Let's reorganize these fans. I thought I bought two 140s, but I didn't. So he gets a weird fitting. Hold on. Okay, these are not... I know they'll hook up correctly, but we gotta get them hooked up correctly, and they're not. There we go. It's silly that it doesn't automatically kind of configure that, but whatever. Excuse me. Okay, this one's done. And let's go ahead. Oop. Power that down. Grab this. Put on the usual suspects. And then you. Oh, yes, you. Getting the biggest overhaul of overhauls. And that's actually a mild joke because this thing's getting a full-blown overhaul. Unless for some reason it won't let us, you know, take out certain parts. Which would be kind of dumb. Because we should be allowed to. Nice. Alright. And it comes in back in as a new one, which has kind of always been weird. Alright. Hard drives. Let me think here. The best way to install that cooling unit is going to be through here. So we'll relocate that when we're ready. Alright, let me think here. Cooling. It's going to be liquid. Let's get the memory in first. A lot of shit in the way. Alright, so I gotta lose most of these fans. But maybe once we get it in, we can do something else. Or not. It just takes up a lot of space. That's fine. We don't care. Probably doesn't care. Alright. Graphics cards. And hard drive. Oh, you know what? I didn't put the hard drives in yet. Noise and the power supply. Fuck off. Ooh, this is bad. And it's bad because he's going to want this installed somewhere. And we can't do that. Okay. Replace customer. Okay, so we got to take this out. As much as I want to leave this in, we have to take it out. That kind of blows. And no, I'm not going to try to get the smaller fan size ones in there. I'm just not going to bother with it at all. We're just going to leave what he's got. I'm not going to dick around with this more than I have to. And there's lots of reasons for that. It's just not. It's just in all fairness and all honesty, it's just not worth it. Wait a minute. I don't have enough RAM. Hold on. Hold on. How do you get more RAM than that? $128 gigabytes of RAM. The fuck? I just realized this. It's like, wait a minute. 128 gigs of RAM. Huh? I mean, we'll get the 3D Mark score and all, but how do we get the RAM? Something's up with that. Something's up with that indeed. Let me think. I don't know. I think we're stuck in a corner here. This is weird. Well, this is not good. Okay, so here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to close this thing up. This monstrosity of money that I just burned. And then we're going to have to figure the rest of this out. But right now, there's nothing to figure out because we can't do this. So either we have the wrong RAM, or we need to get a new motherboard. Which, again, is concerning because we spent a lot of money already. Okay, so, yeah, we're just going to close it up for the moment. And we're going to store it over here. We can't do it. We just can't even bother ourselves with it. We don't have the means to do 128 gigs of RAM. So either there's 32 gig sticks floating around out there, or there's a motherboard with more slots than one would ever presume. So we'll just hold on to the job for now. Because it is a story-driven one, it's not a big deal that we can't finish it right away. There should be maybe no deadline, hopefully. But, God, that's so weird. That's really, really weird. What angers me, though, is we're going to be out the cash that we spent on it until money arrives. So, yeah, that's going to suck a bit, but that's all we can do. So let's go ahead and collect on these guys. So weird. You know, I'm sitting here looking at it nonchalantly like, oh, 120 gigs of RAM, I'm sure we could do that. And then we'll buy the best stuff. And now I'm sitting there going, well, maybe we can't. And this changes a lot of shit, too, because we would need 4 more sticks of 16 gig if it comes to that. and we did not budget for that. So the good thing I think I did was I changed out the motherboard, but we'll have to break it down. We may have to redo the purchasing for this again and just dump off the other stuff, which I'm okay with, by the way. So we'll figure it out. Thanks for the extra RAM. It made a big difference. This PC is perfect now. Just in time, too. I've got finals coming up soon, so I got to knuckle down and get on with my work. No more games until after I pass. Thanks, guys. Sunshine. Yeah, it turns out the guy in that case uses the self-defense excuse. He's guilty as hell for sure. Okay, yeah. Oh, God, another expensive one. After we just had our issue. Can I trust you to build me a decent computer? So I needed to run at about 9718 in benchmarks if possible. Can you finish within 2 days? Let's go with CPU with an I/O cooler. Don't try to pass off it to use parts. I want all new stuff. Have you ever heard of EVGA? They're meant to be pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good. So this is a build. Okay, this is a straight up build. So 2363 is a good amount of money too. So as per usual, let's do the math. So 2363. Wait, is the RAM right? Okay, we're good. And actually, two of these 3 jobs are builds, so we might have them sent immediately. And we'll do that one on an easy day. All right. Dude wants EVGA. They, I think, make coolers and video cards and cases. Yeah, Vigicards. And dare I say, they make some good ones. No, 1070 is pretty dated. Aren't we in like 1080 now? We'll figure it out. Alright, but first things first is they have the liquid cooling he wants. So we're going to obviously start there. And actually, you know what? If we can, we're going to go for this guy. Because we spent money on it. So let me say 140 so we can dump that accident. Alright, so we have minus 140. Let's get the usual things that we get, like as I always say, the usual suspects. I think as long as we get a couple of EVGA parts in there, I think it'll be fine. And we will, so I'm not worried about that. So, for example, that's too big. That's 180. God damn it! Don't they have them like in a reasonable size? 165. That's a 650 though. Pfft. What's the point? We're gonna need it. We need horsepower, so we won't go EVGA again. Well, I want to go EVGA, but we need a bigger. Oh wait, 140 millimeter. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Well, that's Cooler Master. So let's change cases out here. Something with a pretty good sized power supply reach here. So we're adding $100 to our normal case size because that's the only way to do it. Damn, they're all full towers too. Not that I have a problem with full towers; they fit everything, but still. Obsessed much? Storage. We'll probably do the fastest M2 we can get. Come back to graphics cards. And we have the cooling in there. So, we now need to bite the bullet to what we really want to make. Do we want to make AMD or do we want to make Intel? The Intel Coffee Lakes will probably save us the most performance, give us the most bang for our buck if we want our buck to be on the cheaper side processing power-wise. Oh, I thought I hit Coffee Lake. Did I not hit Coffee Lake? There we Um, or bang for our wattage. I don't know. It's hard to say. But if we go too big on the processor, we're not going to have enough money for anything else. So I'm thinking this region is pretty good between these. This is a 6 core, so for $55 more. So let's just do that for now, which is a little more than I want to do now that I'm thinking about it. So let's just leave it for now. Motherboard, thinking too hard. Coffee Lake. That's going to be the guy, minus 155. That puts us at 1418. Now, memory, we're just going to go up to 3200. If we go any bigger, again, we're going to run into this problem where we're spending too much. And I don't think we're going to be able to afford what we want. And I already think we've surpassed that anyway. Hence why, you know what? We're going to go back to processor, Coffee Lake. We can do better, cheaper, I think. Well, maybe not. Or right here. 170. So 1498. That's a little better. And that includes the motherboard. So memory is the only other thing we don't have. So memory. If we need to save some money, we can save it on the hard drive because we're spending 100 on the hard drive, but we're barely reaching high numbers here. What am I holding on to in my inventory right now? That is new. Okay, 8 gig 3200. So 8 gig 3200. So minus 110. Minus 110. 1388 is our budget for graphics cards. If I want to get something a little better in video cards in the $700 range, we're going to have to... Yeah, see, we could go up in the $700 range, but it's our storage that's the problem. So let's add back in the $100. Remove this storage. Let's go with that. So that gives us 1428. So we can't go higher than these two guys. So who's actually better? You look like you're actually better in the core. So go with two of you, my friend. And that should leave us with $18 left. Fascinating. Let's go to the next one here. Can you build me a PC? I'm a pretty hardcore gamer, so I needed to benchmark 11.322. I need it in 10 days. Is 10 days a reasonable deadline? Can you put in 2 of the same GPUs, please? I heard you guys use these parts. Please don't do that. I read that Zotac parts are really good. Btwig. All right, Btwig. Holy crap. Okay. Well, I thought the first one was going to be rough. Here we go. An even bigger one. But he only cares about Zotac. And they don't make a lot of stuff. Zotac mainly just makes video cards. So we're obviously putting in these. We need $1,440 to put in the best Zotac video card, really. So everything else we can budget, go down in budget, for sure. So let's go ahead and do $50 for the Deep Cool. So what's our budget again? It's $26.48. Okay. So that's minus 50. Power supply, big. That's just the only answer one needs. Big. For $10 we get one that fits. So $850 minus $150. Storage. Let's go with we'll go with the $100 one for now, and see if we need to change it out later. We'll come back to graphics cards. So performance at 2348. We need the best for performance money can buy. And debate the wattage as well. So let's say we go with the Ryzen system here at 380. So minus 380, 1968. The cooling is garbage. Boop. Did he say liquid cooling? No. So screw him. All right. Motherboard. We need the AM4 slot with the fastest RAM speed we can get, which on these guys isn't as high as the Intels, but we should be able to get something that we want. So here's 3600. I don't think there's anything better than 3600 that has multi-core, multi-processors. So video cards. So we'll go with this guy here. Minus 155. That gives us 1793. So our motherboard area is 3600. So we're just going to go right to the 3600 range. And okay, so 8 gigs is 120. So we'll probably do 2 of these. 1, 2. Technically we could do... No, we can only do really 2. The 16 gigs should be enough. Graphics. Zotac. Now the wattage, that's the other reason too. The wattage in this thing is insane. 270, hence the big power supply. So minus 720, minus 720. Boom, boom. Actually leaves us with 113. How much was the memory? More than we can afford. So 113. I don't see anything else to spend it on other than better hard drive space. So let's add in 100. So we have $213 to spend on storage. So we'll go and upgrade that out, I guess. So 200. Which one's fat? You're 240 now. He's still faster than that. So I want speed, baby. Give me the speed. Boom. Minus 160. It's $53. Sure, why not? So we'll get 1, 2. Three. I don't want to get another one. Well, 3. Well, actually. 1, 2, 3. That's 30, 40, 50. All right. Woo! Kind of got that one set up. I think I'm thinking I need to upgrade my PC. I want to make sure my rig is as fast as it can be. Can you get it to benchmark at 4791? Can you put in 16 gigs of RAM? I need it by tomorrow. I worry about used parts. Is it okay that it's so dusty? Sure, why not? Okay, so let's see what's actually in there. It's already at 4,000, so it's really going to be just a video card boost. And it's another 6 gig VR. That actually helps me in a later running here. All right. His budget is $565. He needs the 16 gigs of RAM. Now the problem is he only has a shitty 4 gig stick. So we're just gonna buy him a 16 gig stick outright. So what was the performance? 2666. So luckily that's not gonna be too expensive for a 16 gig stick. Minus 150. Boom. So we have $415 left. What is really in here? He actually has a pretty decent processor. He has a good motherboard. Can he dual card? I don't think so. Not on a 1060, but we'll check. I'm pretty sure he can't. VR. Yeah, these things are shit. They don't dual card at all. So really our budget for a video card is $415. So with that said, $405. We'll take the one with the better performance. Boom. Now, what was his power supply? I think it was pretty good. Yeah, it'll do. And that's really the best we can do. And then what we can do there is we can jack it up with our GPU tuner. So we accept. Yay, another $5,000 in parts. And hopefully this time I can actually spend the $5,000 in parts. But big thing is that we're going to buy it now. Right? Boom. And we don't care about that. We already did that. So, we've got our plan pretty much for tomorrow. We've got 2 rigs we got to build. And they're both freaking titans, pretty much. They are titanic builds. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Oh, what do we got here? And a repair job as well. Plus an empty rig, so we'll have to figure that out too. And actually, we have a lot of used power supplies. We're missing something. We don't have very much for used motherboards, so we could buy a cheap motherboard. I'm not going to use this for a shitty build because we've got some shitty processors, and we're going to end up with graphics cards that we don't know what to do with. Like we're going to have a VR 6 gig and this thing, so these video cards would be good for these Intel builds that we're going to need to do. Wow. Okay, so yeah, but these 2 builds for sure. So there's some stuff that we've got to figure out. And we need we'll get some cheap storage as well, and it looks like we're going to need a second case, so we'll get a cheap case as well. So we've got everything kind of sorted out and what we need to do. What do we got here? A really crummy power supply, so that even helps too. So we've got a lot of stuff to figure out for what we're doing going forward. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. When we come back, we're going to get these builds underway. We're going to start, oh man, look at those towers. We're going to start, we're going to get these builds going. We're going to repair this guy, and we're going to at least build this and probably speed order any computers we got to build for the next day, plus 2 motherboards, if I can remember, 2 motherboards and 2 cheap storage units. So and 1 cheap tower. So yeah, we're gonna have to figure all that out, and then that way we can get 3 new rigs on the market as of the end of the work day. So anyway, thank you guys for stopping by. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JackTarStudios for live gaming action, and all of our other shows. Our tabletop show called Chairman of the Board Show, as well as pretty much as well as the other aspects of what we're doing over there, which is the Hobo Headcrab blind play. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you next time. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please take a moment to check out more episodes from the RPG Guy, Tuesday Night Team Up, and more. And please subscribe. Always support the channels you enjoy watching, and while you're at it, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Keep on gaming hard. See you next time.